Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 422 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gamer podcast for Words About Games. I'm one of your hosts, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the one and only three-star champ himself. It's Mr. Dafford Moody.
Howdy do, everybody. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day.
Oh, it's video
I hope everyone's had a good week.
Audio listeners, Amy was shaking her head vehemently. There's no other word for it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll allow vehemently. And we're also joined by the only boy himself. It's Mr. Vitz Patel.
That's me. What's good, gamers? How are you all doing? Yeah, the week might have been a week, but this weekend should be good fun.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, I know we've trailed this in the past couple of podcasts, but yeah, we're finally getting to go to the Royal Albert Hall to see the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Orchestra concert, and that's going to be a fun old time. And Amy's coming down to have some fun times in London town.
Yeah, lots of sleep, hopefully. It was touch and go for a minute there.
It was.
I won't lie, I wasn't crossing my fingers at all that you wouldn't be able to and give me the ticket instead.
Wow.
Not at all.
Now the true colours really.
Now I know. Now I know how I caught COVID.
Yeah.
What, months ago when since you've been last down to see me? Just been lingering in the background waiting to strike.
I knew that letter wasn't really from the government.
That's fair. That's fair.
The one that said "Do not ignore" in big letters. Yeah.
I always ignore them. Too much anxiety.
Yeah.
When they're like, "Don't ignore
Yeah,
this," and I'm like,
Also, Ames, you strike me as a friend who, if someone gives you a direct instruction, your first initial instinct is to completely go the opposite direction, just because.
It depends what the instruction is, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why she doesn't have a driving license, because if she told us to go left, she'd go right.
It's not even. The reason I don't have a driving license is the reasons are myriad and complicated and probably stupid, but also it just seems really expensive. Like, not the driving license itself, the car ownership.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
And this way, you get to be chauffeured everywhere.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, am I late everywhere because like public transport is like falling in pieces in this country? Yeah, sure am. But also, like, I feel like every other day someone I know who owns a car is like, "Oh, just had to spend £300 on a new valve for my engine or whatever," and I'm just like, "Don't you have insurance?" And they're like, "What's the insurance actually for? Like, if not for when car breaks."
It's theft. Insurance is just theft. It's a crime that's government sponsored. It's awful.
If you buy like a thing, like a TV or something, and you buy insurance on it, if the TV breaks, then you get the TV fixed. But if you buy insurance on your car, if the car breaks, you have to pay for it.
Unless you're hit by another person and it's not your accident, it's not your fault, then they use their insurance to repair it.
But your premiums still go up. It doesn't matter. Anytime you pick up the phone to your insurance company, your premiums are going up. It doesn't matter what you say.
I'll just stick with my buses. If the bus breaks down, I just get on another bus. Like, I don't have to pay to get the bus.
Say, "Hi, I'm going to be late. Crappy transport. Can't do anything about it."
I think I should just get a template saved at this point.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm getting the bus down to Vitz's and didn't know I was going to be able to do that until today. So it's been a whirlwind where I've just been like,
But yeah, we're going to have some adventures in the Science and Industry Museum. We're going to go check out some retro game stores. It's going to be a fun old time.
And then a concert, and then we were going to go to the Hellfire Caves because it's called the Hellfire Caves, but it's not wheelchair accessible, so we're not going to do that. But like, what a name.
Yeah. Should we just swing past here to see if they've got any merch?
Just to see if there is in fact Hellfire.
There you go. You'd be bitterly disappointed if they're not, right?
I mean, I would.
They didn't smell a brimstone.
Like, But yeah, no, COVID. Turns out it's just as bad the second time around as it was the first time around. Which is why I wasn't on the podcast last week, and why we should have rescheduled the stream on Saturday, but didn't.
Well, we didn't find out you had COVID until what? Monday?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I went to the doctor's because initially it was just like shortness of breath whenever I do anything, and naturally, that's
what
pretty.
we get every day.
That's pretty
Maybe
scary.
we should get tested.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor the next day. They triaged me. I went in, and I had to do all sorts of stuff. She stuck a thing on my finger, and I blew into a tube, and like several options were presented to me about what this could be. And I was like, all right, cool. And COVID wasn't one of the options because I didn't have any of the other symptoms.
Right.
It was only a couple of days later where I started getting the actual like flu-like side of the COVID symptoms, where I was like, hang on a minute, I need to get some tests. And then I was like, I was offended that I had to pay for them. I was like, what the fuck do you mean I have to pay for COVID tests?
You had to pay for them for a while.
fucking hell, guys. Are you trying to kill us all? And then I think about it. I'm like, yeah, they probably are trying to kill us all.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
Think of the ease on the NHS and stuff like that.
That's how they get rid of the numbers, the waiting list, because they're just going to let them all die. So,
but yeah,
and they'll proudly say it. We got the numbers down. By killing everybody.
ignore these mass graves behind me.
It's the same way video companies saying, yes, and we've got record profit numbers by laying everybody off. It's one of those.
Oh, but yeah, that first test I took, like, how the thing fills up in the thing very, very slowly. And like, it's the bottom line means you got COVID, and the top line means the test worked. Like, it was half full, and it was like the strongest like line on the "you have COVID" bit, and I was like, oh, shucks.
Impeccable timing, as you said.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. So does this mean I'm going to miss the once in a lifetime concert?
They'll come back around. But no, you're not either.
No, but no, I'm not. Like, I've been crossing everything, like, and I did test this morning, and it was negative, and then I immediately did a second test because I was like, got to make sure
it's not false negative.
just got to make sure this isn't a false negative. Stuck the thing, and then the second one came, and it was negative, and I was like, oh, thank God. Don't know how my energy levels are going to do. Like, I have been fucked for the last 9 days.
We have provisions for you to have naps whenever you want, even on the day we're in London. Do
you have a backup wheelchair?
I'm sure we can source one.
I'm sure there'll be an intermission for you to take a nap.
Intermissions aren't as long as you think, buddy.
I'm sure there's a sort of song that you don't like, you just switch off, just go,
I think it's going to be a bit loud for that. This is how bad it was. I went out yesterday to get a couple of things from the shops, right? It's like a 10-minute walk there, round the shops, about 20 minutes. Bus back, got in the house, slept for 4 hours.
Nice.
Like, I just crashed out. So like, exertion, massive nap. So I'm a little bit concerned, like, about doing this big travel thing, but sure, it's fine. Vitz will get you like a little stick with a little poke thing on the end of it, and when I'm like, you just we'll
have the Buster swords that they're going to sell at the concert. We'll be able to jab you with one of those.
Just jab me with a Buster sword. Sounds good.
There you go.
How's everybody else doing?
It's going okay. So, did a final stage interview this week, which was exciting. So we get to hear about that next week. And then in video game news, I allegedly may have started playing Gran Turismo 4 on my PC and modded it to have all shiny new textures and something called a Spec 2 mod that the community has made, which essentially is now like the definitive version of that game. So they've edited some of the events to make them a bit less taxing and added some new events which makes sense. And there's like a prize car randomizer you can use now, and yeah, it's good fun. So I think I'm around about 10 hours into that game now, and yeah, it's very, very good fun, and it just makes you recontextualize how big of a whiff the career mode in Gran Turismo 7 was. But yeah, so we're getting our Gran Turismo fix in a less toxic way, allegedly.
Well, you haven't put anything in the doc to complain about it, so I'm assuming it's better.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Moody? How you doing?
I'm unemployed by the time this episode releases, so I'm pretty crap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry to bring the mood down, but like, yeah, the countdown has been shit as hell. We've basically been told we don't have to even come in on Friday, just leave our keys on our tables on Thursday. Yeah, it's kind of shit right now. And it sucks. Like, I told everyone, obviously, you listened to the podcast last week when it was me and Vitz. Yeah, I don't like it. I feel really weird. I feel really uncomfortable. I won't lie.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really crap. That's the only way I can really describe it right now.
Lots of time for
But
video
there's-
games, though.
Yes. And
I
time
don't.
for crime
Honestly,
tomorrow.
I don't give a fuck. I'm really. That's not even in my thought process right now.
Think of all the Dragon Age.
Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to, if you drive in tomorrow, you have to fold the back seat to your car down so you can get as much stuff in it as possible.
We're live. Stop.
For legal purposes, that was a joke.
Yeah, it's like so we're working on like basically the final patch for Small Land Survive the Wilds, basically. That we're going to be working on. Like, to my knowledge, they're going to still work on the game, I've been told. I don't know how true that is going to be. Yeah, it sucks. Like, it really sucks right now. Life sucks. And yeah, like it's just been like one roller coaster like last 7 days. So like my partner fell over and sprained her ankle last week, so she's been off, and I've been looking after her. Yeah, it's just so that's kind of been a distraction for me, but
And all the time
At the
with
same
Fedora
time-
as well.
There you go.
well, she gets
You can
snipped
be so
next
happy.
week. I'm getting a snip next week, so
Oh.
yeah. I'm okay with it. Sophia's petrified. I'm just like, why are you really thinking the worst?
Just in terms of personality changes or like complications in the procedure.
No, we don't intend to have puppies or anything like that. And I just basically, for my own sake, it's more like I'm making sure.
I get that, but sorry, is the anxiety around personality changes within Adora?
Oh, complications. Complications.
Right, okay, fine.
Yeah. We've been told
fair.
multiple times, like we've got friends and like around here who've like got multiple dogs and they've had them snipped, and like apparently it's like we'll get her back the same day. Like drop her off right on the morning, we'll get her back on the same day.
And I imagine you'll be very popular with her.
Who?
Adora.
How
Could you do this to me, father?
Well, she has no idea, obviously. She hates the vets, which is understandable, I guess. Even though she was very good last time, obviously she's not gonna like knowing that we're gonna be leaving her there. Like I'm gonna be like, here you go.
Just throw her in through the
I
door
don't want
and
to
then
know what she's gonna be like.
pull
like
the door closed.
she-
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
To the car.
Yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, she won't like that. Like she hates when we leave her just in the flat. Like she
It's
doesn't
true.
like that whatsoever.
That's actually, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
we can
Separation
vouch for
anxiety is
this.
a thing, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she has serious separation anxiety, which we have tried to manage. But it also this is it should hopefully like calm her down a little bit, and everything. Yeah, it's all over the place. My life is literally all over the place right now. And yeah, like there's pit and snippings out there. It's disgusting. And ones that I have applied for, like I haven't even heard anything back. And like I get, like I can only imagine how many CVs they are getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, it sucks. I hate it.
And
yeah.
speaking of it sucks and I hate it, let's talk about some video games.
There you go.
Vitz.
Hello.
I was going to pick this one as my topic because my brain's had a meltdown all week, but you beat me to it. So,
Well, we can combine in a Voltron of podcasting.
Oh, I didn't really have anything to say. I was just like, yeah, that seems easy. Ow, my brain.
Friends, the folks at PlayStation decided to have a State of Play conference, showcase, whatever you want to call it, on this week, and they announced a bunch of things. Now, I'm reading this from the PlayStation blog in the order where it's listed here, so it's not going to necessarily match the event as the runtime went, but it was about 30 odd minutes, and they covered a heck of a lot of games, including some PSVR 2 titles, which...
It's in alphabetical order. Didn't even notice.
There you go. So the first thing they covered and even opened with the PlayStation Studios logo treatment, but it was the Astrobot one, where you've got all Astro and all the other Astro-themed bots running through. And they announced some new DLC, which is free. They haven't got a specific date on it yet, but it's more speedrun and challenge levels and 10 new special bots. So we know there's going to be some Helldivers 2 themed bots and some Stellar Blade ones as well. So all your perverts get out there, so you can perv on Stellar Blade some more in Astrobot and complain about why you can't see certain genitals and things like that already. The next was the long-awaited announcement from the team over at Sucker Punch of the follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. So this is Ghost of Yotei, and all new adventure, a new origin story set 300 years after Jin Sakai was knocking around in Tsushima, set in a different part of Japan outside of the kind of structured samurai clan family. And it's starring the brilliant Erika Ishii, who's an all-round badass and actor, and will be starring in Dragon Age of Veilguard later on this year as well. And she is all different kinds of stokes to be in a lead role working with the team at Sucker Punch. So yeah, she is awesome, and you can catch her on Alana Pierce's new podcast, along with Ben Starr and Abzi Babzi as well, as they discuss all things voice acting, and that's one to check out.
Ghost of Yotei. Whoa,
Yeah.
slow your roll. This isn't a freaking... I know you're used to reading the football scores over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but there you go.
But this isn't like BBC News. Also announced. It's like, because like I have a thing about the Ghost of Yotei, which, you know, I didn't watch the trailer, whatever. Like, not that first. Like, but like, who's in charge of like marketing at PlayStation? Because if you've got a Ghost of Tsushima sequel in your back pocket, Ghost of Tsushima, if you will, and you're revealing a console which is like, whose main selling point is like, look at how cool our games look. Why wouldn't you do both of those things at the same time?
Yeah, that is a solid question to ask in terms of, give me the reason to buy this system, which is not just, oh, your old games look better now.
Look at this PS4 game. It's like, But like, look at this brand new game that's coming out next year. Look at, here it is on the PlayStation 5. Here it is on the PlayStation 5 Pro.
And it's not like there's any notion that we're going to get even more information at TGS or anything like that, or this is just the opening salvo of marketing of this is the reveal trailer kind of thing. So there's no reason why Mark Cerny couldn't be like, and this is what our brand new title coming in 2025 looks like.
Yeah, you get Mark Cerny in his like soothing voice, you know, and this is something that we've been working on, you know, that's gonna take full advantage of all of the ray tracers and the pixel voxels,
all the GPUs and CPUs and things.
all of the CUDA cores and whatever else is in there. And it's just like, instead they were like, they took the brunt of like 2 weeks worth of like, what the fuck is the point of this?
Yeah.
then announced the 30th anniversary editions of the console, then announced Ghost of Yotei, and it's like, bruh, what is going on over there? Like,
I don't know why that was more than just one cycle in itself. And granted, you can support that with PlayStation blog posts to provide all the other ancillary details. Like they haven't even announced the pricing of the PlayStation 5 Pro 30th anniversary bundle.
£1,000.
Ames, I think it's going to be higher than that.
Yeah,
I reckon it's going to be because they're talking about like it's 12,300 units. I can see it being $1,230.
If it's limited, it'll be the same. Will it not be the same price? It wasn't like when they did this for the PS4, they only had a certain amount of units, and I'm sure it was the same price.
But for the PlayStation 5 Pro version of the 30th anniversary thing, you can only get it as a bundle with an Edge and a regular DualSense, the charging station, and something else I want to say. Oh no, the portal's a separate thing, but yeah. So because you're sending it as a bundle, I can see it being like $1,200.
Well, yeah, those Edge controls are really expensive.
Yeah.
When it comes to the marketing part, sorry for putting in there.
That's right.
They've probably through that did that PS5 Pro thing with Sony earlier, because they obviously, I think they probably were thinking, we're gonna get backlash for the price, but let's just get it out there. Don't let it overshadow this state of play, because we've got interesting things to show here and everything, and just get it out of the way. That's what I think I'd agree with you. It's just like, why are you doing a thing, what was like, 2 weeks ago now? You've got this, knowing you've got this thing coming up, I agree with you, but at the same time, it's just like...
They still would have gotten a backlash either way, because again, like, there's legitimate questions about PS5 Pro. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but like, if you've got a cool new game, show the cool new game running on the cool new hardware. I don't know, it's not right. Like, this is Microsoft levels of tomfoolery.
It is, and one of the interesting things about this state of play was in the opening title card kind of thing, it didn't specify that all of these titles are being shown on PS5 Pro hardware. It was just PS5 and PS5 dev kits. And that was kind of a miss for me as well, in terms of, people were asking, well, what does it look like on PS5? But you've got a shiny new box to sell. use the assets to sell the shiny new box. But we will see. What they did say was that the 30th anniversary edition of the PlayStation 5, which is the PlayStation 5 Slim, is going to be the same price that it currently retails at. So who knows what the price of the bundle is going to be. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei even looks amazing. And yeah, granted, we're looking at a reveal tease trailer kind of thing, but from the outset, I'm all in.
Cool.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It looks really good, the trailer. I won't lie, it was a very good reveal. And I will see if it piques my interest, because I haven't even played the first one yet. So
there's never been a better time to jump into Ghost of Tsushima, especially with Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed.
Yeah, I heard that this one.
Well, I don't know, like Metaphor and Dragon Age might have something to say about that. There's never been a better time to jump in. Like, my time is very limited.
This little sidebar, but speaking of Metaphor ReFantazio, there's now a demo available in everywhere that the game's going to be available, and the progress from the demo will transfer over to the main game. So be sure to check that out as well. The next title on the list is Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. And, ooh boy, there was some things to say about this one. So this was heavily trailered in terms of the ESRB board, had this round. The Korean's rating board also kind of leaked, quote unquote, this by publishing their listings as well. So it wasn't necessarily a surprise to everybody. But yeah, the game looks gorgeous, not that the original didn't. And essentially what they've done is brought over a lot of the assets from Horizon Forbidden West over to this version. It will be a £10/$10 upgrade option for those who have this game in the first place. And I believe, and you might have to correct me on this, a couple of years ago at this point, there was a promotion, I think it was part of their Days of Play event, where they just gave Horizon free for PS4 owners if you added it to your library at that point. Kind of thing. So I think for £10 more, you can get this again. Whether anybody's going to actually do that,
I mean, I don't want to spend a tenner just so Aloy can wear some makeup. Like, I wish I was joking.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about, oh, it's so woke, and why does she have makeup, and why is she prettier, and all the rest of it. And obviously, these people we need just to ignore and fire into the sun anyway.
Sure.
But it's one of these where it's the changes the team made of their own volition between. And obviously with the new tech that can push with PS5 between Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, just in Aloy's character model is stark, and you don't really think about it until they put it side by side, and it's one of these. But yeah, so that'll be there as well. And then to closely follow that up, we got another new look at Lego Horizon Adventures, and they were showcasing some of the alternate costumes that you'll be able to get themed around PlayStation mascots and heroes. So there's Ratchet, there's Rivet, there was Sackboy in there as well. And yeah, that game still shines a lot of personality. And I think if people are looking to dive back into the story of Zero Dawn, this might be the vehicle to do it if you've recently played it in the past couple of years kind of thing ahead of Forbidden West coming out and whatnot. But yeah, that game's looking good. I believe November 14th for Horizon Adventures. So yeah, no, obviously that's on a number of systems, not just PlayStation, including the Nintendo Switch, which will be interesting as well to see how that does.
Lego game, isn't it? It's like the perfect fit. It's like the perfect fit for the Switch.
Definitely, especially like the demographic that Nintendo systems tend to target, and with Lego games as well. Then they had a sizzle reel trailer for a bunch of titles which are going to be PS5 Pro enhanced, and this was a bit, this is a bit choppy and changey for me personally because they went through a number of titles and then they had like a speed run of titles, but they brought up the same titles they spoke about before, so you kind of lost track. The biggest ones for me is that Dragon Dogma 2 was going to get some new shiny bells and whistles, and Dragon Age of Velgard is going to launch with some... Well, sorry, when the PlayStation 5 Pro launches, because I think the game comes out a couple of weeks beforehand. That's going to come out with some shiny new bells and whistles as well. So that was good in that sense. And then today, as a date recording, the embargo's lifted on a bunch of outlets which have had hands-on with the PS5 Pro and a bunch of titles comparing all the new visual modes where apparently the system doesn't have you choose between fidelity and performance, but they're still there, and there's even more choices now, even though people thought there wouldn't be. I know, Amy, you posted a thing earlier in our Discord group in terms of they're getting rid of modes. Oh wait, no, there's even more of them. So,
yeah. The old now you can just do both, and then the Naughty Dog developer on the PlayStation blog is like, no, now we can just like make the fidelity even higher, and you can put it in your PS5 Pro that costs £700 in performance mode.
That's it. Yeah, so that was a thing that they did, and again, they didn't really give you. It still wasn't a great showing of why you need to buy a PS5 Pro, because again, aside of those titles like Dragon Age, which hasn't come out yet, I don't think there were too many others of, oh, these brand new games are going to take advantage of the new hardware. Then for your current PS5, they came out with a new Chroma collection. So it's indigo, there's this new like pearl white, and there's this teal, which doesn't look like a teal. My partner and I were discussing this. It's more like a bottle green or beetle green, if that translates to your sensibilities. But yeah, the indigo one looks hot. But who's buying PS5 faceplates in the realms of wanting to change the color of your system, even if it's just buying faceplates and whatnot, but also the controller in a world where they're trying to sell you a PS5 Pro and in a similar means telling you your PS5, you should throw that in the garbage anyway and spend what is it, £840 to get the equivalent to what you have, just with slightly better stuff, which you may or may not be able to perceive. But I reckon if you spent that money, your brain would kind of fool you into thinking it's the greatest thing to sliced bread. what's appearing on your TV, regardless. Then they went through a bunch of PS Plus games. So I understand Last of Us Part 1 is arriving to the service on Last of Us Day, which is the new name for Outbreak Day. So on the original release date of The Last of Us, they used to have Outbreak Day every year, but then when COVID ran around and we had an actual outbreak, they decided to change track. But one of the other things they're doing is bringing some new classic titles to the platform, if not PS Plus. One of those is Dino Crisis. All right, no reaction from my co-host, but we'll move on.
No, yeah,
yeah.
I saw this late last night. Sorry, I was in bed when that's why I didn't reply and everything.
I wasn't watching it either, don't worry.
No, yeah, this is obviously this is great and everything like that. I'll be looking forward to giving it a go, and yeah. Hopefully this, I just hope that people who are wanting to try and kick Capcom up the butt to say, yo, play this, get a remake, fucking buy this or play the fucking thing.
It's money where your mouth is time now, Dino Crisis fans.
Yeah, basically.
It's all about creating several thousand alt accounts, but yeah,
now it's about playing and buying. Like,
yeah, Vitz, Sammy, like, I don't care. You're both are buying it if you like it or not. We need to get these numbers pumping up.
Look, man, I'm still trying to find a PS1 version that has the actual correct disc inside the box. Thank you very much. But
that's challenging itself.
That is a challenge, let me tell you.
That's fair.
No, like one thing, because we talked about this in our Discord chat, and I want like a PSA, because it's getting added to the premium tier of PS Plus.
Yeah.
But like, what PlayStation doesn't advertise that I found out by accident a while ago is if you go on the app on your phone and you go onto the PS Plus tab, and then like they have the classics catalog, like when you scroll down at the bottom, if you click on that, you can just buy most of the games individually. And like, I think like
that's awesome.
80% of them are cheaper than a premium subscription. Like there's some that are more expensive. Like there's some that are in like the 20, 30, 40 quids. But yeah, it's like I think you can buy almost all of the games that are in the classics collection separately. So like if you don't want to tie yourself to a subscription to pay to play like Dino Crisis or whatever else is coming out, like you can just buy it. Probably maybe it'll be one of the few titles where Capcom says, no, we don't want to sell it to you, we don't want money, we're a corporation.
That's it.
Who only cares about the gamer.
Pay this $14.99 a month subscription instead to a different company. We're such geniuses here at the executive level.
I'll be a schmuck. I'll buy it.
I'm probably going to end up buying it, yeah.
Yeah. It might be a simpler way to, sorry, but it might be a simpler way to stream it.
I did
when you want to play it.
It did cross my mind.
Yeah, we'll see what the quality of that port's like first before we decide to actually buy it.
But them taking this long to finally do it, because like there was like when they were revealing this, their version of Game Pass ages ago, like there was a Japanese thing, a marketing thing that showed Dino Crisis, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, Dino Crisis is coming." This kind of makes me feel like that they've probably been trying to find a good way to properly emulate it and make sure it runs. Probably, maybe I might be speaking out my ass there.
No, it's all good. So after all that goodness, we took a trip to the lake house for Alan Wake 2, and this trailer had a lot of jump scares in it, and I was like, no, thank you. We're in the Federal Bureau of Control, and then no, thank you, you. I don't want anything to do with that.
Oh, yeah. I sold the console that I own this on. Thanks for reminding me that I did that. Oh, bollocks.
Well, Amy, the good news is this new DLC looks terrifying, and you don't want to subject your baby heart to that. Oh,
what do you mean? Don't fucking like. I'm not you. Like, I love Alan Wake too. I want to go to the lake house. It's like a haunted painting. I saw this trailer and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then I looked at the console, the lack of an Xbox console under my desk, and I went, "Fuck no!" What did I do? What have I done? I even bought the season pass.
I think
crap.
We all subscribe to the adage that no game is worth buying an entire system for, but Amy might be able to test that theory soon.
If I buy the console, download Alan Wake 2, and then like return the console after I've played the Lake House DLC for a voucher, and then use the voucher to buy other things, like that might be the play.
Or maybe
Check.
someone can, lend you their Xbox, and then you can log in on
I don't know
that
anyone
system.
who has a Series console anymore. The only
Ah,
the only people I knew who owned Xbox Series consoles was us two, me and Moody, and we got rid of them. So
this is true.
We did.
oh well, I'll find a way. Like maybe they'll release, because the physical release must be coming up soon, and I
Yeah,
bet
I
it's going
imagine
to
so.
include the DLCs. So
It'll be like a game of the year, quote unquote, edition
get
where
it.
it's got everything with it. Then Arc Age Chronicles. This game looks interesting. I think this is I want to say it's like a former MMO title turned into an action RPG, action adventure RPG, I should say. But yeah, it looks interesting. Be sure to go check out that trailer. That game is coming soon. I can't remember what the exact date is on it, but it's a title that was new to me at least. So it's good to see that it wasn't just Ghost of Yotei, or Yotei, sorry, popping up here. They did have some new titles as well. We got another look at Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which for me went on a little bit too long and probably didn't do it any favors in what they actually showed. Just in terms of the composition of the kind of vertical slice that they showed of a dragon fight and the kind of build up to it, for me, went a little bit too long. And then the fight itself, they kind of did a transition edit, and they did like 3 of these in the trailer itself, and the fight just kept on going. And I get they were trying to show off different mechanics and like combo moves with a mage and stuff, but yeah, it didn't quite hit for me. But hopefully for those who are stoked for Dragon Age, then it did wonders for yourselves.
Did you
I don't
watch
understand. I've seen that everyone said that I've seen that it went on a little too long. I didn't. I never. In my head, I just don't understand that. It just went. It was. I think it wasn't a great trailer. I think it was a trailer. I was just like, they were trying to like show off obviously their new mechanics and everything like that, and I don't think they did a very well job on that while mixing in the cinematic part of it as well. And I think it was just wasn't a really great showcase for that alone. I doubt they've took any goodwill from like the overall positiveness from the previews that they put out. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? But I agree, like the trailer, I don't think it worked. I think that's maybe why a lot of people are also saying, like yourself, is that it just maybe felt a little too long because it wasn't working for me as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's maybe because I think if it was working for everybody, I don't think we wouldn't be hearing as much of it was too long type of thing. But that's just my 2 cents.
I mean, like,
I'm still looking forward to it. Like,
you two,
course,
honest to fucking God. Actually, not you, Moody. You're all right. You and Vitz and the internet, like, fucking. What does it take to please you with a Dragon Age trailer?
Want to be just edited properly.
Like,
That's all I'm asking.
fucking, back at E3, they showed off level 1 combat, and we all sat here and agreed, why the fuck they show off level 1 combat? Like what's the fucking point of that?
I still liked what I saw there. I just want to state
and
that.
then they fucking. This is why I discounted you from the. What does it take? What does it take? Like, and then they show high level combat, and everybody's like, "Well, that was too long." It's like, it's high level combat, guys. Like,
Yeah, but if you're showing a boss fight,
it's not a 30-second boss fight. It's a dragon fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if it takes like 30 seconds to kill the dragon, that's boring. Like, I don't want to kill a dragon in 30 seconds.
You take out the middle 2 edits. You have the opening edit, and then you have the bit where you jump into where the gameplay kind of pauses slightly when you go through your menus and pick what spells you want to use, and you have that fire. Then you transition towards the end of the fight because we know the gameplay loop is going to be like that.
The reason I disagree with that is because of EA and specifically BioWare's past, where they've marketed BioWare games like that in the past. The last one they marketed like that was this little game called Anthem, where they kept doing these cuts between the gameplay. And what they were doing was they were hiding the fact that their gameplay was because we've all read the story, we know how long it was only in development for like a year. Like, they were just hiding the fact that the game was hilariously unfinished. So like, I get why they wouldn't want to do that with the Veil Guard, because like there's history there. Where it's like if you start cutting too much in the gameplay, like people are just going to be like, well, hang on a minute,
What are you hiding? Yeah.
what are you hiding here?
As a pseudo facetious counter to that, do you think anyone's left at BioWare that actually remembers those times?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think specifically, I think the people, the fans, remember those times.
Yeah, the fans will, but I'm just thinking of the team at BioWare, because
Plus, it was
everybody talk.
4.5 minutes long. Like it wasn't that long in the grand scheme of things. Like fucking, they had a Horizon Zero Dawn remastered trailer. Like, what the fuck are they going to remaster next? Horizon Forbidden West, Astro Ball.
There was noises of Days Gone.
We get a state of play in December so they can remaster Astro Ball. Like, just
Hell yeah.
let me have my 4.5 minute Dragon Age trailer. Sorry.
Something new. What isn't new?
Yeah, I'm usually the first person on these things saying this showcase was boring, it was rubbish, and this trailer was bad, and this trailer was bad. Like, I feel like I'm gonna jump in and defend this trailer. I liked it.
I'll say this: I don't think this was a bad state of play. I don't think we've talked about that. I think it was actually a pretty well-paced state of play that had a mixture of a lot of things for everybody, which I think is, for me, is what is the main requirement from any state of play showcase type of thing. It doesn't have to hit for everything for me, but as long as it hits for everybody, I'm okay with it. And I thought this flowed really well, so yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't watch it. Just to clarify, I watched trailers afterwards.
Yeah,
I watched it at work this morning. Not like I've got stuff to do. So.
Yeah, fuck them, right? What are they gonna do? Sack you?
That's it. Too soon.
No, it's not. We've been joking about that since we got sacked.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
So next up was Dynasty Warriors Origins. So this was a title that was revealed at the State of Play just before Summer Games Fest, or it might have been at SGF itself. Time is a flat circle. But yeah, we got to see a cinematic trailer for that, interspliced with some. I don't want to say gameplay elements, but yeah, you showcase some of the more iconic like moves that your character is going to be doing. So if you've been jonesing for a Muso game, then this looks right up your strasse. Fantasio Neo Dimension.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Love a JRPG with a weird name. Apparently that's my jam, right? Fucking Octopath Traveler triangle strategy. But yeah, no, I mean this is the RPG by the guy who created Final Fantasy, like the series, not one of the games. And the composer Nobuo Uematsu, whose music we're going to be listening to in like 2 days, like today, I guess, when this podcast goes live. But yeah, no, I mean, like, cool. It's coming out in December. Excellent. I know what I'm playing over Christmas, but like, I'm just really excited. Like, the creator of Final Fantasy. Like the last time I specifically remember the creator of Final Fantasy working on a JRPG that wasn't Final Fantasy, they made Lost Odyssey, which, you know, I fucking think is a great game. So I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Sounds fucking weird.
Warp
drives and it's like fucking. I'm looking at the thing. There's like mechanical infections, and the protagonist has amnesia, and then, you know, there's a warp device. Like, it's like, all right, cool. Like, this is gonna be fucking weird. Give me.
Let's go. After that was Fear the Spotlight, which is a game which is releasing on PS5 and available in your PSVR 2, should you be one of the 12 people who bought one of those. So I think this is the title where all of the... Or I might be confusing this with Midnight Walk. But Fear the Spotlight is a title. I'm just going to quickly Google the Midnight Walk. So I'll make sure that this is the game with the clay models. The Midnight Walk is the game I was going to open with. But yeah, Fear the Spotlight is a game which apparently I don't remember. So we'll move on in the meantime. And we'll.
It's the Blumhouse game. You remember when Blumhouse came out and they were like, we're going to...
This is the PS1 visual theme style game. It's a horror game. And I think you are two teenage girls who break into your high school and play with a Ouija board. And then everything goes.
Everything is
goes
fine. Yeah.
I think that,
Yeah.
this is a game right up Amy's alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong there. Like,
Yeah.
it's too many. This problem
Yeah,
is there's
I
too
know
many.
you.
There's too many games up Amy's alley right now. Like Amy
There
just
you go.
Amy just downloaded UFO 50, and then thought I'm going away for like 5 days. Shit, I'm not going to be able to play UFO 50 for 5 days. I'm running out of time to play all of the up Amy's alley games. there's 2 like 100-hour games coming out like just over the hill.
There's a traffic jam forming in the alley, yeah. Fortnite was there with a new mode for Lego Fortnite, which is a split screen mode, which I think makes a ton of sense for families which want to play together and not necessarily having to have 2 different TVs or 2 monitors set up side by side. And then they also announced a limited edition DualSense, which to my sensibilities looks hideous, but
It's got like banana shell on it, right?
Yeah, and the Fishman. But obviously, to my sensibilities, it's the children who are wrong, and they will tell me otherwise. But yeah, obviously, if that's your thing, then more power to you.
Never played
It's
it.
don't pick a fight with the Fortnite nerds.
I downloaded Fortnite on the day it came out in early access because we were doing a charity stream, and I tried to play it, and I got killed within 2 minutes in the first match, and then the servers kept dying, so I gave up and I never played it again.
Fair enough. After that was Hell Is Us, which is a really interesting title that has a lot of the combat at least has a lot of Soul-esque mechanics, I want to say, and the art style looks incredible, and some of the enemy design, they remind me of Spot from Across the Spider-Verse, if you remember them. And yeah, this game looks scary, and it looks really challenging, and it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see Andy play it because he's far more braver than I am. But yeah. Up next was Hitman World of Assassination VR. So not to be confused with Hitman 3, which came to things like MetaQuest 3 and looked awful. This seems to be the World of Assassination, which is all 3 Hitman titles, I believe. The content for each of them packed into one title, now available in VR. And having watched some gameplay of the previous Hitman VR, it hits different when you're asked to, bludgeon a woman to death with an object, and it's different from having some sticks in your hand to actually having to do it in physical space. And but yeah, if you have a need to commit some serial murder, then this is the one for you.
Spec Ops: The Line style commentary going on there. Like it's like, yeah,
it really is.
Because it's not different. You're doing exactly the same thing. You're just but is it different?
The agency is like, it's not taken away from him; it's given to you.
Instead of pushing square, like you're like
exactly.
Get the piano wire out.
Oh, absolutely, giving it all that. Then a title which was kind of spoiled because the fine folks at PlayStation decided to list this on their store ahead of the state of play, then trying to hastily bring it down again. This was Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remaster.
We won.
These titles are coming back.
We did it.
Yes.
The game has won.
This is a title which was lauded for its writing back in the day. I'm not sure how well it will translate. I'm not familiar with them intimately, kind of thing. So
Amy Hennig wrote it.
See. Sorry?
Amy Hennig wrote them.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that translates in 2024. And yeah, they'll be coming up shortly. Lunar Remastered Collection. So these are a pair of PS1 JRPGs.
We won, gamers.
Exactly. It's another one of those. I'm not familiar with these as a
not many people
forms.
are. They're pretty.
Yeah.
The Luna games are pretty niche, but very good JRPGs from the PS1. Like,
yeah,
it's weird. They've heard me complain about like all of the states of players for the last like 2 years, and then they've been like, all right, we need to put some shit in here specifically to shut Amy up. And you know what? It worked. Good job. Well done. Legacy of Kain, Luna Remastered.
There you go.
I'm happy. Apparently, I like the Dragon Age trailer more than everybody else as well. Like, hey.
There you go. Look at that.
I'm finally eating out of one of these things. It's about time.
So I think the trick is that you never watch these things live. You just catch the trailers afterwards. And you
I've
think,
been doing
right,
that
okay,
for I've been doing that for ages.
Yeah, she has.
Like,
next up was Metro Awakening VR. So it's Metro, but this time it's in virtual reality. And yeah, I think this is true of this franchise. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is the main currency your ammunition?
bullets.
So you can either like spend it. You
can spend it or
or you can shoot.
Yeah. That's the deal. They're good games.
And
like I've played all of the non VR games. They're all good games.
Yeah.
This does look good. I won't lie. Like it looks really
Yeah.
decent. So it could be something to keep an eye out.
You can get like
December?
if you've got a PSVR 2, it'll probably be a really good VR game for people who aren't as scaredy cats as Vitz. But you can get the series on sale for like usually less than a tenner when it goes on sale. Like they are very good games. The first one's a bit ropey, but it's the first game. Like it's that whole first game thing. The second one was great, but yeah, you do have to kind of like your bullets are also your money. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, I could buy this new gun, but I'm not gonna have very many bullets left.
Next up, Capcom came swinging through with a new trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds, and it looked really, really cool. And in some bits, it looked too cool for what it was trying to do in terms of there's no way this is real. But of course, Capcom and the wizards over there are making it happen. Where at one part during the gameplay trailer, your man pulled a whole mountain down on top of a beast they were hunting, and it was like, that's a thing you can do. So
that's just Japanese anime type games in general.
Japanese games. I remember playing playing Battlefield 4 back in the day, and someone collapsed the building I was standing on.
There you go. So tail end of February. So we have a firm release date of
something else coming out on that day as well, isn't there? Like,
yes,
yeah. What else was it? There's something else like major release coming out on that exact day. Was it Assassin's Creed? Did it get delayed to that?
Assassin's Creed is
Monster
now
Hunter
on Valentine's Day. I think Monster Hunter is at the tail end of Feb. On the 28th.
What date to put it on?
Right. You get some fucking cracking Valentine Days releases sometimes.
I remember Persona 5 that released on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, with Horizon remastered coming out at the end of October. I was gonna make this joke earlier, but it's like Nintendo have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Like, I know you say like the Switch 2 isn't gonna be ready until like late next year, but like, come on, guys.
What if?
Yeah. You just launched it at the same time as the Horizon remaster. Like, I feel like you got to do it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the Yakuza pirate game. That's what's coming out on the 20th of
that was it. The Yakuza title it gives you everything you need in the title. It's like a dragon, it's Yakuza, you're in Hawaii and you're a pirate. What more do you need? I
love the Yakuza franchise. They just like go fucking nuts. I was in CEX a couple of weeks ago and they've got the PS3 version. I think it's called like Dead Souls or something. It's like what if Yakuza was a zombie game? And it's just like, all right. You've done everything, haven't you?
Yeah, if you thought a trailer went too long, that was a trailer that went too long, Vince. It's like 6 minutes long. I was thinking, why? I get it. It's Yakuza, and I'm going to play it. I'll fall in love with that franchise, but for fuck's sakes, I was like, why are you 7 minutes long? For God's sakes.
So next up in the state of play was Palworld, which had a surprise shadow drop, except it didn't. So in other news, Nintendo have finally got around to suing the team behind Palworld. We believe it's because they have a patent on the mechanic of trapping things in balls, and so.
Yeah,
that mechanic that they have.
No doubt about they will lock that right.
You mean the core mechanic since the Game Boy days? Yeah, I think they may have a patent on that.
They probably panned that before it was born.
So it was shadow dropped on PlayStation in many parts of the world, apart from Japan. So in Japan, I think as a result of the lawsuit, they are still figuring out when that's going to drop there. But good luck to all you
When?
PAL
It's
changes or
that's
whatever
a
you
very
call
optimistic statement, Vitz. When will it drop in Japan?
it. It might be dropped off the bridge into the shadowy water below, but yeah.
Hey,
it'll
I
drop
did say
somewhere.
when we did our fantasy critic picks and Pal World came up, I was like, good luck
Yeah.
with that game existing.
Yeah, so download it now before they delist it.
Yeah, sure.
If you want that game.
At least in Japan. But no, yeah, it's I think it's just funny. Everyone's been saying, "Well, it's finally happened."
And like not for none
It's
of the
we've all been
reasons
waiting for
none of the
a
reasons
company
anyone
to
like
sue another company.
Yeah. It's not like IP infringement or anything.
it's not like
with the
copyright
designs.
infringement with the monster designs. It's like, yeah, all right.
It's interesting that you haven't gone for that one. That's them. That I think a lot of people have been
Dragon Quest would
saying
be
that.
knocking on the door saying, "Excuse me, we were doing this back in the 80s."
Yeah, well, a lot of people, I think, what I've read or watched, like, are saying that, like, experts and everything like that, are saying they probably wouldn't have been able to win that one. So this is the easier one to win for them.
It's probably
So
harder
it's like,
to win like that kind of lawsuit. Sorry, I'm thinking of the word.
it also depends on which country as well, you know. So it's like
True, and
different
it's
laws
one of
and
these where Nintendo probably didn't, press the go button on the lawsuit until they knew they had all their ducks in a row.
Yeah, I never got that. It's like
ironclad case.
I saw a bunch of people being like, why did they wait so long? It's like, because like you don't like, it's not America where like, you know, you just sue everybody and see what sticks. It's like, no, like the corporations will take their time to sue over anything because they want to make sure that they can win before they start spending money on lawyers. It's like, I don't know.
Well, especially in a Japanese studio where it's all, the culture is based on honor and all the rest of it. And to call someone out on their honor is a big old thing. So, yeah. Then we had a trailer for Stellar Blade, which is going to have a new photo mode. So perverts can get their perverting on even better.
No kink shaming.
Then they
go for it.
Absolutely.
Do what you got to do.
And then, speaking of kink shaming, or non-kink shaming, then they announced there was a crossover with 2B from Nier Automata. So she is going to be in the game as a playable character too. So it'll be interesting because I think the creators were saying it'll be interesting to see some of the environments from Nier being realized in 3D environments. I know obviously the Nier games, some of the environments appear in 3D, but so if you're excited for that, then more power to you.
Yes, famously, it's 2D Nier Automata.
Yeah. Then it's the game which I got confused about before. So the Midnight Walk. So one of the interesting things about this game is that every single character model has been modeled in clay, and those clay models are in the game, and it's all pseudo stop animation. And this game looks terrifying. Also available on PSVR. If you want to scare yourself even more. But yeah, this game looks really, really interesting. I hope it does well for the team behind it because they're bringing something new to the table. And is this a trailer that either of you checked out?
Yeah, I saw it. It looks really, really good. I won't lie, it was arguably the most interesting thing that was showed off overall. When I first saw it, I was thinking Little Nightmares 3. I won't lie. When I first saw it, I was literally saying that's Little Nightmares 3, but it wasn't, which is really cool. And it was like something like it's a new IP, which is obviously great to obviously give it to see with all the remakes and remasters or sequels these days. It's great to see that. So I agree with you. I don't have a VR headset anymore anyway, but so I wouldn't have played it in there. It does look terrifyingly awesome. I'll say that.
Like, yeah, it was a good state of play for VR, I think. Like, in general, but like, I feel like with a lot, like we were talking about with Dino Crisis coming to PS Plus, because like there's been a lot of complaints about PlayStation not supporting PSVR 2. It's like you just got like 4 or 5 like pretty good, great looking games like showing off at this state of play, and I feel like we're in the put up or shut up. Like put your money where your mouth is now. It's like. Support these games, and then people will make more games for the PSVR 2.
I know in the quote-unquote launch window of the PSVR 2, everybody was quoting or channeling JoJo from back in the day. It was too little, too late. But yeah, now we're finally seeing.
Well, but like if you go in with that attitude, it is like like Moody's been fucking banging on about Dino Crisis since before I met him, and now we've got the chance to buy loads of copies of it on PlayStation 5 and like
I'm agreeing with you.
push the franchise forward. It's like if you're gonna like say, well, it's too little, too late. It's like, well, then it's dead. Like, and you killed. Like you had a hand in killing it. If that's your attitude, like there's cool games coming to the platform, buy them, play them.
Speaking of cool games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge is getting some new DLC with radical reptiles. So they're adding the Mona Lisa character to the game and this other gecko character as well. But they're
Gex?
also announcing.
Is it Gex? Sorry? Is it Gex? Is Gex coming to the game?
I'm just going to say yes.
Aw, Vitz, you disappoint me.
I know, I do that on a regular basis. But one of the other things they're doing is providing lots of remixes for the soundtrack. And they are getting a bunch of different artists to collab. And one of them is Anna Monoguchi, which I know got the community very excited as well for them to lend their talents to what is already an awesome soundtrack. So, yeah, be sure to check that out for Radical Reptile. Then Sonic X Shadow Generation. So there was a Sonic Direct or some sort of Sonic conference earlier on in the day, and for some reason they decided, no, we're not going to put that news in here. We're going to put it in State of Play. But yeah, so
people will actually watch the State of Play.
For the Shadow levels, which are going to be in this game, when the movie drops, so this is Sonic 3, the movie, there's going to be a DLC pack, a free DLC pack, as I understand it, coming to the game where Keanu Reeves' voice lines are going to be incorporated into Shadow's, into Shadow's character model. Exactly. So yeah, people will be able to hear Shadow as they see him on the silver screen, as it were.
Wow.
Deep down, this is genius marketing. They know what they're doing here. Everyone's very excited. Who's a Sonic fan is excited to see the Sonic 3, especially Shadow and everything. So yeah, well done.
I just you mentioned the Sonic Central, and I was like, what did they show at the Sonic Central if they didn't show this? And like the second thing down is one of the most cursed headlines I've ever read on IGN.com, where it says Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble gets Sonic Balls.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the thing. I think the other
Super
thing
Monkey Ball is very different than I remember.
Yeah, the other thing they announced was a DC Comics crossover event where Shadow is Batman, Sonic is the Flash, I want to say, Tails is Cyborg, and
I
Knuckles
saw
is
some
Superman,
drawings
maybe?
of this. Yeah, Tails was the Cyborg. I wonder what the fuck that was. Sonic Rumble, Battle Royale, Super Monkey Ball balls. Sonic getting motorbike helmets and other merch. Sonic coming to Top Golf. Sonic Team, Sonic. There's a picture actually of Sonic looking like the Flash. Actually, that's pretty cool. And then Sonic X Shadow. Yeah, not that much, but.
And then the last title that they brought up was Towers of Agaspa. So this is a new pseudo-cozy survival game, which is kind of lacking in the multiplayer elements that most people are looking for when it comes to a survival game where you're playing with your friends and going around resource collecting. But it seems to be tending to farms, tending after animals, and generally just having a good old time with an interesting art style. So be sure to check that out. That is Towers of Agaspa. And that, friends, was State of Play for September 2024.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. It was a cool show. Well done.
Well done. You finally got me interested in some of your stuff. I finally looked at some trailers from a State of Play and went, oh, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and shout out to Erika Ishii once more for landing the leading role in Ghost of Yote.
And Dragon Age, right?
And Dragon Age. Yeah. I think she's playing Rook, I want to say.
That's the main character. So
so she must be doing the female voice of if you play it as play the main character as a female.
One of the two, because there's usually multiple for voices.
Yeah, for Dragon Age there was I think two versions of the male and two versions of female, if I remember right.
Or if you want to trigger some YouTubers, body type 1 and body type 2. And on that note, let's take a halftime break. I need a drink. Sure. And it's about that time. So we'll be back in a minute after Vitz tells you all about charity stuff.
What's good, everybody? I hope you're having the best day. The Words About Games podcast is fundraising for the fabulous team over at Special Effect. If you didn't know, Special Effect is a charity that transforms the lives of physically disabled people all over the world through innovative use of technology. The heart of their work is the mission to maximize fun by helping people control video games to the best of their abilities. They're bringing families and friends together, having a profoundly positive impact in quality of life, confidence, and rehabilitation. Amy, Moody, and I have been working on a number of streams to bring you a whole host of shows, games, shenanigans, and more. Everything from ranking Resident Evil, becoming the noble team in Halo Reach, and finding our competitive streak in legally distinct and 90s game shows. We've got several more charity streams in the works, and with your help, we can get there. Special Effect is a charity near and dear to our hearts, and we'd love your support in raising as much money as possible to bring the joy of video games to so many more people. Simply click on the link in the description below of wherever you're enjoying this podcast, or scan the QR code you see now. That will take you to our Just Giving page, where you can learn more and donate. If you're not in a position to donate, that's more than okay. Times are tough and we understand. Please consider sharing our Just Giving page on social media. It will help spread the word and the work that we're doing. Thanks for listening, and for now, let's get back to the podcast.
And we're back.
Hey.
So,
Hello.
quick little indie game of the week.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, I'm the only person who can find indie games for indie game of the week.
Hey, now's the time you start throwing shade.
Yeah. Y'all last week, you're all like, oh, she's going to be mad about the length. It's like, I don't give a shit about the length. But when I got to the indie game part and you were like, no indie games, I was like, bruh.
To be fair, we highlighted every indie game that was on our curator list.
The streak is broken.
Your streak is intact.
My streak is intact. I guess I'm the only one that cares about indie games. Ooh.
Quit your moaning, man.
It's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do most weeks, where we talk about some cool looking upcoming indie games that look cool and we think you should wishlist them. This week's Indie Game of the Week, Windstorm: The Legend of Khiimori, where apparently you're going to embark on an epic adventure, cultivate your Mongolian nomad camp, and complete missions to build your legacy as an ancient courier rider. Tame and train horses with specialized abilities to explore every aspect of a diverse landscape. Oh, DEI. There's some bullet points here that I pulled from the Steam store page, where it just says, explore untamed land, evolve your horses, cultivate your camp, build your legacy, and unravel the mystery.
Yeah. Is this the game which is going on social media of someone just saying, I'm making games in 13th century Mongolian, and all you have to do is ride your horse, like breed your horse, raise your horse, train your horse, and then ride it across to deliver messages.
Yeah.
And there's no fail states or anything like that. Okay, this game looks awesome.
Yeah, the gameplay, like the challenge of the gameplay comes from like your roots, and like it reminded me a lot of the climbing game that I really liked from Summer Game Fest E3 or whatever, where it was just like the gameplay challenge comes from the climbing, where it's like this comes from like the horse riding, and like you've got to like do your route, and like maybe there'll be some like weather effects and stuff, and it's like you're looking after a camp, and you're looking after your horses, and like I don't know, like, it sounded pretty cool, and it looks really good as well.
Mm-hmm. Windstorm: The Legend of Khiimori.
The Legend of Khiimori.
Wish list now.
Hell yeah, give that a wish list.
Added it to my wish list.
Cool. Yeah, give it a wish list. Links in the description wherever you choose to get this podcast. If you like indie games, go down onto that description and click on our Steam Curator page. We've got every indie game of the week that we've ever done. It's over 100 of them. Go see what looks good. Pick some out. Buy some. Wish list them. Do whatever. Steam sales in like the big Steam sales in a month. Time to build that wish list up.
Yep.
And make some responsible purchasing decisions.
It's
like I will be doing when we go to retro game shops in a few days.
I think there's a word like a small word that goes before responsible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I make lots of responsible financial decisions.
I know. Now you're going to make some non-responsible financial decisions.
Oh, you want me to make some irresponsible decisions? Interesting.
I've maintained that I'm an enabler when it comes to other people spending money.
That's fascinating because
Yeah.
like I don't. Moody probably remembers what I was like when we were shopping and we went to the CX and all those other shops and stuff. And like the only thing that stopped me there was like a lack of funds.
Yeah.
Whereas this time I don't have quite as much of a lack of funds. So that could be a problem.
Combination.
It could be an issue. I might have to buy a Buster Sword just to stop me buying like a fucking Game Boy.
There you go. So tune in next week, folks. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to find out what Amy bought.
Look at all this cool stuff I found.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I bought Pokemon. Which one? Yes.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, probably not all the Pokemon, but hey.
Yeah, probably not all. No.
We'll see what happens, man. Like, I made a.
Think of the joy of seeing Moody's face when you tell him I got all the Pokemon before he did. You caught them all before he did.
Yeah, there's only 150 in the original game. I feel like that's much more achievable than the Pokemon game I played. But like I made my spreadsheet while I was like trying to like keep my brain ticking over while I had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I had Supernatural on the top monitor, and I was just going through like PS1 games, PS2 games. So I was like, it's fun to like impulse buy and like browse and see what's there and stuff, but also like it is good to have like some direction where it's like, because the thing I found with retro games is like you have to pull the trigger when you see a game, or you're probably not going to see it again for a long time.
Yes.
Like I've noticed this is a trend. It's like I'll see a game and I'll be like, oh cool, let me think about that, and then I'll come back 2 weeks later and it's gone, and like 6 months later I still haven't seen it.
It's like when I sent you to the photo from my local CEX of the PS1 collection. You was like, holy PS1 collection, Batman. And then like the next time I went in there to pick up Rise of Nightmares or whatever it was for you, it's kind of like, oh no, it's decimated.
It's like it's not there anymore.
Gone.
It's like it's like you gotta pull some trigger. You gotta pull the trigger when you see stuff. But hey, pull all sorts of triggers. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Let's get on with the podcast. Moody,
Yeah.
The next topic is your topic.
Donut bets on lost records, Bloom and Rage as multiple projections fail to meet expectations. Donut has high hopes for lost records, Bloom and Rage, after Justin and Banish's Ghost and New Eden failed to reach company expectations. In a financial report, the French developer has published said it will now partially write down in the amount of 24 million euros the assets of Justin and Banish's, given the inability to demonstrate future cash flows with the value of these assets. I don't really care about the rest. Basically, it's just like another company just coming out saying they've haven't met expectations. Donut obviously not like the size of what like Square Enix is or any other company that comes out and says this type of thing, but I would still say the same thing. Basically, pretty much what we say for all of them is what were those expectations? Because I never really saw real hype for those two games personally. Justin, yes, it was overall critically acclaimed. I think overall, I know Damien, I believe you played it and really enjoyed it. If I remember.
Yeah,
not that one. Jusant was, as I understand it, that was also on Game Pass.
It was.
So I think
whatever
sales expectations they had, whether they factored in, well, the majority of people are just going to play this on Game Pass. Whether it's on PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass, that kind of thing.
Class game. Don't get me wrong. Like really, really good game. But like I was in the same boat as Moody, where I was like, wait, what were you expecting from this? Because like, even if you take the Game Pass out of the equation for Jusant, it's like pretty niche game.
Yeah,
climbing game. Like
cute little friend.
It's like it's fun. Like it's really, really good. Like I said last year, but I didn't see this game selling like a lot of copies. It's the same with Banishers, where it's like, by all accounts, it's a great game. I haven't played that one. Like, I just looked up the OpenCritic, and it's an 80, which is higher than I thought it was for some reason. But like, again, it's a pretty niche game. I don't know how many people have heard of it. Like,
but
yeah.
Because I think it's also that for some weird reason, not some weird reason, I rephrase this. I get why they've probably tried to do this, but they've tried to branch out away from Life is Strange, which obviously was the thing that put them on the map. Well, obviously, Life is Strange is now basically getting made by Deck 9 right now. Obviously, the next one. And obviously, like, Don't Nod moved away from Life is Strange to a certain point. Obviously, did another story, which was a 3-parter about a brother and a sister, which was a really great story. I love that. I thought, well, I can't remember its name. It's not coming to my on the top of my head right now. Tell me why. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I thought those 3 episodes were just. It was 3 episodes, I believe. Were great. I've really, really enjoyed the story. I thought it was a really well done story, and I think that kept to their strong point. And for me, it's like, this is what I am hoping that. And Lost Records does seem like it is them going back to their kind of back into their lane type of thing, of like just telling interesting supernaturally type stories, but in the modern type setting type of thing, quote unquote. And I think that's what people kind of prefer from them. Just on, yes, Amy really enjoyed it, and it was overall very well received, but obviously didn't make quote unquote the expectations. But like what you said, what were they expecting from these 2 games? I am curious. Were you expecting 2 million copies for both of these? 2 million copies sold? I don't think those 2. I'm taking a guess. Still was going to be the thing that happened for them. But sadly, when we hear things like this, we hear that the next thing we hear is layoffs, which is something I don't wish for anybody right now. And it's petrifying to hear that. It's scary to hear that the expectations were not met. But I do hope Lost Records does come out and is a banger for them and everything. I hope they don't do the thing what they've been doing normally, is just recently in single episodes. No, release the whole fucking game.
That's some bad news on that front, my friend. But
yeah.
But like, yeah, it is a bit of a shame. Like, I mean, it's cool that they're going back to their roots and like they're going back into their lane. Like, they didn't do anything wrong with these 2 games. Like, and that kind of sucks. Again, I'm just going off critical reception for Banishers, but you saw personal experience. It's like they were great and different. Like when I reviewed Jusant, I remember being like, why isn't more climbing like this in games? Like, I have to actually pay attention to what I'm doing. And like, I think about replaying that game all the time. But there's a lot of red flags in this news story for me, in terms of like, what Don't Nod are saying they're doing. Where it's like, all right, cool. So like, it didn't hit expectations. Okay, what were your expectations? They seem like they might have been a bit high for 2 niche, smaller titles, especially at a time where there's a lot of games that are coming out at this sort of level that are critically acclaimed and not hitting the sales numbers because it's a crowded market. They're talking about putting on like. Oh, they're focusing on Lost Records Bloom Rage because it received a particularly positive reception after being played by press at Gamescom. Well, again, Jusant and Banishers both had positive reception from press.
Yeah.
So, like, what's different about Lost Records? Because it's not called Life is Strange. I haven't seen this one piercing the veil. If you know what I mean, of like, it's not reaching out to people who don't
above
know
the fold, as they say,
who don't nod like specifically don't nod, like not necessarily like even Life is Strange fans like might not have heard of Lost Records. The fact that they're pausing 2 other projects to focus on this is a double-edged sword. In like, yeah, you're gonna put a lot of resources in getting this project finished, which I think is probably a good thing. But you're also putting all of your eggs in one basket. And if this misses your expectations, like, it's a long way to that next project because you've just paused it. Like, the runway is longer, where it's like, cool, we have to sustain the studio for however many 2-3 years now without a new release, and I was like, I see that as part of a red flag for a studio like Dontnod, unless they've got other stuff in the works or like other contract work or something like that. And yet the last red flag is the last sentence where it's like Lost Records Bloom and Rage is set to arrive in 2 parts next year. The first part will debut on PC, PS5, Xbox Series on the 18th of February. The second part will then debut a month later on the 18th of March. Bring the whole thing out on the 18th of March. Don't do this, please.
February is already looking crowded with the lot of the great vast of games which are coming out around that time as well. And what these people don't seem to realize is people have finite amount of time and money to buy these games.
The thing is, they might change this now because obviously Assassin's Creed's obviously moved into February now. Obviously, this article was released and their decision was made before Assassin's Creed came out and says, we're moving as well now, motherfuckers. So they might actually now be thinking, oh, we might need to move again, which is not a worst thing. At the end, it gives them more time to get the game correct and everything and bugged out and updated and everything and gets them ready for. But I completely agree at the same time. Just release the game altogether.
Yeah, it's not so much move out of the way of the other titles. Like we're in a position now where it's like there's like 3 weeks a year where you can accidentally stumble on a quiet week, like, but just release it all at once.
I don't know if that is really correct on the part of just like there's plenty of the time in the year. Yes, there is. There's no doubt about it. But like we've just like, well, I'm gonna be very honestly, like we've just released the game. And it has not really done very well. It's sold very middling right now to what we were hoping it was going to be. I had no dealings with what they decided when it was going to come out and everything like that. But like I've been asking, I was thinking like, so like, what was the smart idea to release this the same week that PlayStation released an exclusive? Even if this was on. Because what we did, we released it first on Steam and then a week later we put it on consoles. And I'm just like, why would you do this at the same time? It's like, I don't care if you're on a separate platform. This is a PlayStation exclusive. For me, you stay the fuck out of the way of that. You don't release at the same time. And their argument was just like two completely different games. Yeah, I get that. But people are going to go for the PlayStation exclusive over a small niche indie game. It was always going to happen.
Yeah, and then a game at the level of Lost Records or Self Lost, which I assume is the game you're talking about. It's like Astrobot. When Astrobot comes out, unless fucking GTA or fucking Halo or something of that magnitude is also releasing at the same time as Astrobot, like, they don't have to worry about what else is coming out. Whereas, and I don't mean this as an insult to these games, but games like Lost Records or Self Lost, like, they've got to worry about each other as well, because even if you release in a week or a month where there are no like massive AAA releases coming out to suck up all the oxygen in the room, it's like you put all these other games that are coming out, because the chances are the people who are most likely to know about these games also know about all of the other games. It's like, it's like once you're in that enthusiast crowd who know what Self Lost is, who know what Lost Records is, like they also know what UFO 50 is, or Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, or Animal Well. It's like, and if you're releasing around the same time as those games, it's like, well, what am I most likely to pick out of, I don't know, like just to make up a release week, UFO 50 or Lost Records? I'm interested in both games, but I'm going to choose UFO 50 for me personally. And then that eats into those sales as well. Like, that was sort of where I was coming from with that comment of like, I don't think there is not a crowded out like place to put a game anymore.
So right now, yeah, you are pretty much spot on there. But we like it, the marketing person, like he said, yeah, he didn't agree with it. But I even just shout out, sure, releases this into Halloween. It's the perfect game for it. It really is, and I'm just I just having a look right now. Right now, Halloween's kind of very empty right now. That week alone. Yes, the week before that is Call of Duty, but we don't have to worry about that. If it was the same week, I could understand that. We should like see you don't get in the same, don't release the same time as a bloody Call of Duty game. But
I mean, Dragon Age is coming out on Halloween.
But overall, you are pretty much spot on there. It's like,
but it's also
a real good place at all, and I think like you also need that thing that grabs the people as well. And sadly, Astrobot really grabbed people.
I mean, that doesn't help when the conversation is just dominated by everybody loving Astrobot. Like, it doesn't help any other game that comes out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because
and that's the thing about it.
Games take time to play as well. It's like you can release 2 weeks after Dragon Age: The Veilguard, but most people are still going to be playing Dragon Age.
I'll be on to my third fucking character by then.
Sure. That's why I said most people who find Dragon Age. To be fair, though,
please hire me, people. Please, someone fucking hire me so I don't have to play it 3 times. Even though I'm looking forward to that game.
That means you'll still be playing it as well.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, the other thing I just wanted to bring up is that, is my estimation at least anyway, that a lot of the sales expectations of these games are front loaded. So outside of, say, launch week and like launch the fortnight straight after launch day kind of thing, I imagine most of the projections that the sales are going to taper off. And I know there was some sentiments going around social media this week of, it really is the smart play to wait a couple of months for a game to come out, or for a game to come out before you buy it, so then you can get bug patches fixed and quality of life updates and all the rest of it. And the rhetoric was that many indie developers and publishers can't afford for you to wait like that, because by the time you get around to doing that, the studio has run out of money. And by the time they've come to launch, they are banking on those launch week sales in order to keep it afloat, unless you've got Microsoft coming through with their dump truck full of cash for Game Pass release.
Yeah, that's spot on. Unless they're a AAA developer and everything like that, who will just like sack people to get the numbers up for themselves. Indeed, the AA can't really afford to do that. It's either get the game out or go bust.
Yeah, it's either buy the game and support the developers, or don't buy the game, don't support the developers. They're not making another game. Like, in that space, in the AAA space, it's like the developers are going to get shafted, either way, unionize. But like, it makes sense, that logic of wait for the patches, wait for the discounts makes sense, because one, AAA games are probably too expensive for a lot of people to buy. Two, a lot of AAA games release fucking broken. Incredibly broken. So like, waiting for bug patches and bug fixes on those games is usually a good idea anyway. And if you're waiting for those, you might as well wait for the discounts as well. But
the best model to what I'm seeing for at least an indie/AA developer, early access is arguably the best thing, especially for a lot of people. Swarland went out into early access and was incredibly successful for us. Like we broke even within the first 24 hours of that of development, which was just amazing. And now the game obviously is now in full release and everything, and we're still throwing out patches and everything for that, which has been really great for us. What is it like? Self-loss sadly hasn't been that big thing, but we also, like last year, we had Bramble the Mountain King, which was our second most profitable game last year. So it's like it really is that, but it's the, I can't think of the saying for what I want to say, but it really is just finding that thing that works and everything. What helped for Bramble was just TikTok helped blew Bramble up like crazy. It was insane when we were seeing the clips and everything. It was insane.
Yeah, that one bit that stuck in people's minds, the water monster coming out of the water. It's like that stuck in so many people's minds. Like, you had that image to go to, because people see it and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember this game."
Yeah.
And then they watch the mod video, and Ariel from The Little Mermaid comes out.
Oh god,
I remember that. But no, like there's no one like thing of success, right? It's like
there's no one silver bullet. Yeah.
I wish there was, because that'd be great. But but yeah, it's like with the smaller games, it's like waiting to purchase the game. And if you gotta wait, you gotta wait. Like, I'm not shaming anybody for not having money to buy games. Hell, I've had to wait on games before. But like, if you can afford to buy it, even if you're not going to play it right away, and it's a smaller game from a smaller studio, it's like, just buy it, because that might help keep the studio going.
Yeah, we joke that many content creators say, you need to support us directly to keep the lights and mics on. This is true of game developers and publishers as well, especially the smaller ones. Like the big ones that you say, that they've got the divested different IPs they're invested in, and they've got the capital to throw around and keep studios afloat for the months of barren spells when sales are low and things like that. But that luxury isn't afforded to smaller developers and publishers.
Yeah, like they need the money. EA doesn't need the money. Like if they're going to lay people off or like close studios, they're going to do it either way, regardless of whether a game sells 10 million copies or 2 million copies. It's like.
Meanwhile, Andrew Wilson's deciding what color interior he wants on his 7th luxury yacht.
Yeah, but like it could be make or break for a developer like Dontnod.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't hit an iceberg. His yacht.
There you go.
Be a shame if it got attacked by whales.
I bet his ship has goggles.
Speaking of small, I don't know how small this publisher
is anymore.
Yeah, it's like speaking of small publishers that publish PUBG,
and owned by Tencent.
And owned by Tencent. Yeah. Oh well, they make indie games. We learned that last year when Dave the Diver was like officially classified as an indie game. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd put in the comments by the Krafton CEO.
Yep.
Krafton recently just bought Tango Gameworks in a last-minute deal from Microsoft. And speaking to GameDeveloper.com about the buyout, they also purchased a Hi-Fi Rush franchise. The CEO, Cheng-Han Kim, said the deal was creatively rather than commercially motivated. Quote, "We wanted to maintain their legacy. Although they did not have a big success in their games, we saw many creatives worth pursuing. That's why we wanted to work with that organization." End quote. Kim says Krafton wanted to acquire as many people as possible from Tango to continue their legacy, with the studio having been shuttered in by Microsoft in May. The South Korean company, best known for publishing PUBG, was also rather smitten with Hi-Fi Rush and sought to acquire the IP to develop sequels. Quote, "Because Hi-Fi Rush fans really want to see sequels, we negotiated with Microsoft to acquire that IP as well." End quote. According to Kim, the sudden shutdown of Tango Gameworks left employees anxious, which is pushing Krafton to complete the deal as soon as possible. "We wanted to make sure the deal happened fast to minimize that gap in their career," he adds. Kim said the scale and complexity of the conglomerate like Microsoft meant it was difficult to move quickly, but noted the Xbox maker was open to the sale of both the studio and the IP. They didn't purchase any of the other IPs, but the big quote, which I'm guessing is buried in this long article somewhere, I thought it would have been near the top. When pressed whether Hi-Fi Rush was a commercial success for Microsoft, Kim says he doesn't know exactly how much the game earned, but when considering production costs, he feels it might not have delivered a substantial return. Kim suggests a corporation like Krafton shouldn't aspire to deliver an infinite procession of chart-topping hits, largely because that's a wildly unrealistic aim. Instead, he feels the goal should be to break even while nurturing creativity. Quote, "Just recoup the production costs, please, is what I say, but that in itself is a pretty big challenge. If you try doing that, you might actually land a big hit. I don't trust people who say, oh, this is going to be a hit. I want someone who could try something new. The big hit shouldn't be your goal. If you think about it that way, Hi-Fi Rush might have brought in a little bit of a minus in terms of financials, but as a team, it's a team that should be encouraged to create something new and continue their journey. We want to have more teams like that under our umbrella." End quote. Ella, hey, hey, hey. Yeah, they didn't buy Krafton to make them like Hi-Fi Rush 2 selling as much as Call of Duty, making PUBG money. It's like, according to the CEO of the publisher, they bought them for creative reasons, which I don't know. It's just I've just been doing this too long, but I was very cynical about this.
You really?
I've seen this.
You hear me?
I've seen too much. Okay, look. All right.
I've seen things.
I've seen shit, man. I was there, Gandalf.
3,000 years ago, the men failed.
It's been 84 years.
This podcast has been running since before Microsoft started buying every company under the sun. I've seen
That's
some
true.
shit.
That is true, no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's talking a good talk right now. We'll see if he walks the walk when it comes to that. He's saying everything that we've been literally shouting from the rooftops, basically. Break a game to break even, then move on to the next one to keep you start and then and learn new stuff with the new game and etc. 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 That's how things work. That's why we've stated Nintendo is so fucking successful when it comes to most of their new IPs or exclusives. Because they retain the staff and everything. We've shouted it from the rooftops and everything. I hope this is truly what they are going to do with Tango Gameworks. I look forward to seeing what they're going to do next and everything. If it's Hi-Fi 2, what Hi-Fi Rush 2, either way. If it's freaking something new and it's a new IP, that's even better and whatnot. To just like, for me, you don't need to do a Hi-Fi 2 Rush. Just keep supporting the game and like throw up maybe some new updates and everything like that. For me personally, but while working on a new IP in the background and whatnot, that's for me what I think they should do. But they've got PUBG money. They also don't really need to worry about it. But
this is the thing, right? It's like a company that has fuck you money, right?
Yes.
Like. Should be nurturing creative talent in the games industry. Like if you've got the space to fail, especially at the moment, like you should be using that space. You shouldn't be releasing endless remasters of PS4 games on the PS5. Like you shouldn't be just like you shouldn't be focusing on just making Final Fantasy games because that's what sells, but then it doesn't sell enough. Like if you have the ability to fail, like taking a swing. Take the fucking swing, because you never know. You might come up with the next fucking big thing, you know. Like these big hits, as the CEO person says. Like there's the big hits of like Fortnite, Call of Duty. They're always going to be big hits, at least for the foreseeable future. But like these new big hits always come out of nowhere. No one on the planet thought Elden Ring was going to be one of the biggest games of the decade. Like. No, like
I disagree with that.
Not commercially. I'm talking commercially.
Yeah, like a breakout hit.
Like a breakout. Like it's a Dark Souls game. Like they're niche. They're difficult. They're off-putting. Like no one thought 10 million units. No one thought it was almost going to outsell Call of Duty the year it came out. Like is the level.
Okay, when
to
it
which
comes
I'm
to that type of thing, yeah, I don't disagree with that part. I thought it was still going to sell incredibly well.
It was still going to sell well. It was still going to be their best selling game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's where I would go. But when it comes to that, I guess I get where you're coming from with that part.
Yeah, it's like you're never going to see the new hits coming. Like again, it was like Baldur's Gate 3. It was in early access for 4 years, and nobody saw the scale of that success.
Of the mainstream success.
Yeah, of like the mainstream success, of the sales numbers, of the amount of money it brought in. It's like it was going to be a great game, and I think we all kind of knew it was going to be a great game, but like the scale of that success came out of nowhere in a lot of ways. It's like, and this is how you do it, man. Like you put a team together,
cross fingers,
you get them to do the things that they want to do, and they'll slowly build up to making something great.
Yeah, as I understand it, they managed to get 50 people back of the team when it was originally disbanded. So I would imagine that the other 50 odd people. Or the rest of the team, I'm not sure how big the original team was, kind of thing.
About 100. They got about half of the team back.
Yeah, so they got around about half. So I imagine the others, hopefully they found work. If not in this industry, then industries close to their heart and to their passion. So they can...
I'm pretty sure that's what they said when they bought them, that it came out afterwards, that the rest, they aren't going to be able to get, they won't be taking everyone because the rest of people have found jobs and everything and moved on and everything, and that's basically, it does seem like that has happened, so.
But it makes sense for them to be able to go explore their passions and not just have to make too hi-fi, too rush kind of thing, even though that's a killer name for a title and they should go with it. But yeah.
Well, they already missed out on Ghosts of Tsushima, so, no one in the games industry has got their head in the game right now.
There you go.
No, I mean, like, they're going to make Hi-Fi Rush too. Like, they didn't get the IP for them not to make a sequel.
Of course.
But like, I mean,
with Chai and 808 and all the rest
from
of it.
from what I gathered, the team seemed interested in doing that when they were at Microsoft anyway. So I think that like them making the thing they want to make, I think is Hi-Fi Rush 2, and that's good because they can like, you know, they're going to have to staff back up with like at least replace the other 50, and the other 50 people can be people who really want to make Hi-Fi Rush 2, like, and bring a lot of new ideas to the table as well. And then once you've got Hi-Fi Rush 2 out, you make 3 or you make something else, and you take those learnings, and then you keep making games, and then you have something that's going to blow up. And I hope it's the best-selling game on an Xbox platform, because I think that would be the funniest thing to come out of all of this.
Yeah, it's like we were saying a couple of weeks ago when if Ubisoft didn't give the Assassin's Creed team a chance to make AC2 after AC1 was a bit lukewarm, yeah, absolutely, then we would have missed out on that. And yeah, for it to, if it sold exceptionally well on Xbox, yeah, that would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, like Hi-Fi Rush 2 comes out and it's just like a massive hit on Xbox.
Yeah,
I'd smile, I'd laugh. I think it was funny. But yeah, this is how I wish like more of the games industry was run. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's the Krafton CEO is just seeing a chance to get some good PR, and by saying all of the right things. I hope that's not true. Like,
yeah, is he doing just bump the sale and the share figures up? Let's see.
But you know, we'll see what happens. Like, I want to believe. I want to believe in something in this godforsaken industry.
Yeah.
But if no one has
Don't we all?
Yeah. If no one has anything else to add,
let's head on over to OpenCritic Head-To-Head.
Jump on to OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. But if you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. The last 2 games that we tried to guess the OpenCritic average for, the first one was last week. Yeah, it must have been. Which was Ara History Untold, which is the strategy game on Xbox.
This is the Civ, but not Civ. Yeah.
Vitz guessed that we get a 75. I guessed that we get a 77. Moody guessed that we get a 78. At the time of recording, Ara History Untold has an OpenCritic average of 76, which is a draw.
So, yeah, good for draws.
Good for draws. They finally got one. They haven't had one since April.
That's it.
But the second one, the game that we guessed, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Moody, you guessed it would get a 90. Vitz, you guessed it would get an 87. I guessed it would get a 91. At the time of recording, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has an OpenCritic average of 85, which means Vitz gets a point. Draws ain't catching up to you.
The status quo is maintained.
It's a funny story about Echoes of Wisdom, actually. Like I went in my banking app today and I opened it up and I had a payment from Microsoft, from Amazon. Fuck did I say Microsoft for? Because we've just been talking about them.
Holding out on us, sir.
I had a charge from Amazon, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't bought anything off Amazon. What the fuck? Like, and I start panicking because I'm like, I'm supposed to be like traveling tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I have to turn my card off, I am fucked, like royally fucked.
Was it Prime? Because mine recently renewed.
No, it was like 40 odd quid, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, because at first I was like, maybe it's Prime. It's not Prime. It's 40 odd quid. Did I forget to cancel my Audible subscription? Like, because I got the free trial for 3 months, and it's like, no, like, and how would that cost me 43 quid? And I'm like panicking, and I'm just about to start like calling the bank and being like, I didn't do this. And then I got an email from Amazon being like, hey, we shipped you pre-order of Zelda, and I was like, when the fuck did I pre-order Zelda? But apparently I pre-ordered Zelda.
Not a bad price to pick it up at, to be fair.
Yeah, $42.95, because if you buy physical games, it's cheaper.
Yeah, this is true.
Here's a life hack for you.
Yeah, I think the review embargo went up today is the day of recording, and yeah, I think it's being well received. It does tend to have a few of the technical limitations that plagued Grizo's last game, which was Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the remake of that. And but yeah, on the whole, I think it's getting some glowing reviews as well, outside of the technical limitations. the dear potato that we refer to as the Switch. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to jumping into this, and I know having dipped back into Link's Awakening remake pretty recently. Yeah, we can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This and yeah, 450 when I get back from London. It's a nice little combo. Nice little 1-2 punch, and God knows what I'm coming back with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's a shame UFO 50 isn't available on your Switch.
Yeah, well,
You'll be
that's
playing
what
on
I
the way
was
down.
hoping for, but it's just a PC, and it's like, oh, I can't afford a Steam Deck. Like, even if I make irresponsible purchasing decisions, I'm not going to be spending Steam Deck money over the weekend. So it's like, I'm not buying a Steam Deck. But it would have been cool because I have like 6 hours each way, so I would have been like all over it. But
It's gonna be audible all the way down.
Maybe Zelda will turn up just before I leave the house, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Quickly run upstairs and grab my Switch. But let's get some OpenCritic scores. The scores at the moment: Amy 27, Moody 37, Vitz 20, draws 6. 2 games to guess this week. We're going early on another one, just because of the release timing of it. But the first one we're going to guess is Zoochosis. I believe that's how you pronounce it, or Zoochosis. It's one of the two.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a horror game that came to my attention because Alfie picked it on Fantasy Critic. And then I saw
that tells me everything. Thank you. I know what I'm going for now.
And then I saw some trailers for it that looked actually pretty good, because I thought the same as you, Moody. I was like, oh, this might not, like, it's a first person body cam horror where you're a zookeeper.
No.
Yeah, you have
no, thank you.
identify infected mutant animals, make a vaccine, and cure them. Pretty fucked up. As I'm sure Vitz just went on the Steam page.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank
something
you.
is wrong with the animals.
I'm ready. I don't like zoos at the best of times. So
Oh, really?
This one, no, thank you. Well, I just find them sad, and animals should be free. I get that some animals need to be conserved, and if they're endangered and all the rest of it. But
you should come up north. There's a lighthouse you can go to, and they've got like a seal sanctuary, but it's like it's to the side of the lighthouse, and it's just where they hang out, like on the rocks.
Nice.
So like you can just look over from the lighthouse, and there's just seals. I think you'd like that. But yeah, no, there's an infection going across the zoo, and the animals are all like mutating, and you've got to figure out which ones are, and not die, I guess.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, what do you think?
Mr. Moody.
Zoochosis.
69.
Nice.
Vitz, what do you reckon?
Let's go 70.
Damn it. That's what I was going to say. Before Moody, we said 69.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 71. I was going 70 anyway.
Yeah. And here's a big one.
So the next one, yeah, this might cause some conversations.
We're about to break some hearts.
So the next one we're going to guess is not coming out next week, but it's coming out like early the week after. Silent Hill 2 remake.
The long-awaited.
The long dreaded.
Yeah. The long CEO says, "Trust me, bro, it's going to be good."
Trust me, bro. Hey, look, it's those previews really like made me question everything. Like I was a fucking X-Files FBI
Video game
agent.
critics, what do they know?
Sometimes they know a lot.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, man. Like it threw me like that people were like digging this game, but then I'm just like, maybe I don't know, man. And with OpenCritic Head-To-Head, it's like one, it's a crapshoot. It's like it's a game of guessing. But like you need to separate your own personal opinion from everything you've seen about the game from the specific people who are going to be reviewing it before launch. That's how I knew UFO 50 was going to get so good, because I'd seen reviewers talking about how great it was before it came out. Moody guessed a 70. Middle of the road, weirdly enough. Not by definition, but it, What brings you to that conclusion, good sir? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a Blooper Team game.
That's fair. Hard to argue with that. We've both
That's
been
all
there.
I need.
Yeah, we've both been
That's all
there.
I need.
So,
Like, even though I'm incredibly excited for what the previews, like with like what happened with Dragon Age Veilguard, I'm still temporarily worried about that game. So it's like, if you guys said, "Oh, it's some good previews and everything like that," oh, what they do to that? Oh, fuck off! They haven't played the entire game yet. Wait until they see what they say then.
He's got a point.
he has, yeah. Always wait until not even just reviews, like just to see what, like, once people have it in their hands and you
I
can
don't
get
give
their
a fuck.
impressions.
I'm just gonna say this right now, like, and maybe it's a controversial thing to say, but on a podcast where we talk about video games and we invite community discussions about video games, but I don't give a fuck what normal people think about video games.
There was going to be a caveat to that of you need to bear in mind that people who are commentating about the game, and whether it's leaving a review or elsewhere, they're only doing it because they're either really happy or really mad. There's no in between. There's no objective.
It's 10 or it's
criticism.
1. Like...
Yeah, exactly. It's 10 or it's woke. Those are the two. Like,
well played. Well played.
Yeah.
But no, I find like the knee-jerk reaction of like, I'm playing this game, here is what I think of it in the moment, is useful to a point, but I feel like a lot of like your opinion of a game, like especially like your long-term opinion of a game, doesn't form until like you've had time to digest what you've actually played, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And it is colored by for me at least anyway, it's the last taste the game leaves you with as well. And it's
Sometimes,
not just
yeah.
the overall experience and whatnot. And sometimes you need to hark back to the earlier experiences to remember when you loved the game.
Yeah, sure. Like I was probably harsher in the moment when I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth than necessarily feel about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because obviously the last thing you do is the thing that pissed me off the most.
Well, we should probably think of holding off reviewing games maybe a week after we've finished the games to properly digest them.
It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons I prefer like that video essay format to like game reviews in terms of like game critique and game commentary, just because they've had that time, right, to digest it, and there's been more of that thought process put into the essay than necessarily someone trying to write a review to a deadline or like as fast as possible to hit the algorithm to.
Yeah, and not have it edited down for the constraints of, it needs to be under 10 minutes and whatnot, otherwise people will click off and you won't get, and the analytics won't say.
Whereas like, here's a 3-hour video about a game you've never heard of, and I'm like, give me it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right then, so I don't think this game's got the juice, everybody.
Oh, it's definitely going to get a 90 now.
Yeah. I hope it does for your sake, because I know you're going to play this game and I hope it's really good.
I've got the original. If the other, I'll just bounce. Like, if the remake disappoints me, I'm just going to bounce and play the original on PS2. I'm fine. Like,
I know, but I know the IP is important to you, and I want things which are important to you to be really good. So, having said that, I am going 75.
Oh,
higher than I went.
I mean, yeah, sure.
The way he made it sound like I thought he was going to go lower than me. I was thinking, dang.
I said I hope it's going to be good, but I don't reckon it is.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2, more like OpenCritic Average 2.
So is it going to be 69 or 88?
I don't know. Like Silent Hill 2 remake, like it comes down to the gameplay, because I feel like with Bloober Team, if they were just making a Silent Hill game that wasn't a remake, I wouldn't trust them. I've heard about the medium.
Yes.
And the direction that it takes that story, specifically some of the conclusions it draws about mental health and abuse, but like they're not in charge of the story. They're copying the story from a different game, like a much better game. So it's like, you just copy that, you'll be fine. It comes down to what they've done with the gameplay. As to
also,
whether
what have they embellished from the original? I thought, you know what, I can make
nothing.
that better. I can make
they
that
can't.
Better.
You can't. Don't even try.
But he said, "Trust me, bro."
That's what I'm like. That's what I'm inferring from "Trust me, bro." It's like, don't worry, we haven't fucked around with it. Is like, that's the thing. Like you would say, but like,
but they say that to get you to pre-order it.
Thing is, I think people's expectations of this, and even though it's a completely different and separate company, people are expecting Capcom type of remake.
Yeah,
of like Resi 2 and 3 and whatnot. That's what they're expecting, and they're not gonna get that.
I think a lot of people don't have that knowledge of what Bloober Team have done in the past. That me and you have, Moody. Like, they haven't been there. They didn't play a Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
They didn't play the Medium. They didn't play Blair Witch. They don't know.
Yeah.
But again, like, setting aside normal people, right? It's just game critics, and it's like, screw it.
I would consider them normal.
86.
86 Amy's gone.
Wow.
You guys have
I do hope it just because it's like one of your favorite games and everything like that. But damn.
You guys have got the lower end of the spectrum. I'm not necessarily saying I think it's going to be really good, because I just saw that video they put out with the fog effect. That looked like someone left a smoke machine running. But didn't look good, man. It didn't look good. But fuck it. If you're down there, I'm going to go up. Because you never know. Why not?
Like, you're going low, I'm going to go high.
For my actual opinion, it's like, I mean, I'm worried. Like, again, played Bloober games. They don't know how to do horror. Like, they don't know how to handle sensitive subject matters in their stories. And again, like, I saw that combat trailer. That didn't look great. I seen that smoke machine fog effect. Like, didn't look good. Like, explorable south, don't want that. Don't need that in this game. Oh, I'm worried. But again, I have the original game, so I'm just gonna play that if this bombs out. And if people enjoy it, cool. That's awesome. Like, fair play. Mm-hmm. Silent Hill 2 is a phenomenal experience.
I won't lie. I will question those people who like it because it's a Bloober game.
I mean, sure. I'll question them. Not out loud. Not out loud. It'll be more like, oh, you enjoyed it. Good for you.
Just take 10 steps back,
Exactly.
turn to the right, and head to the exit.
Unfriend.
Block. Oh, wait a minute, I blocked you. I'm so sorry.
No, but it's actually really good. Trust me, bro.
You, Amy. No, not anymore.
I mean, I'm
the trust has been broken.
The worst part is I know I'm going to play it either way. Like, this game could come out and everybody could say it was shit. I'm still going to have to try it for myself.
Yeah, there's a morbid curiosity, if anything else. Yeah.
I'm all about that.
It's definitely going to be morbid, that's for sure.
I mean, either way, right? It's Silent Hill 2. It's going to be morbid.
It's morbid time.
I've seen the shit that goes on in that game.
There you go.
How many people remember how Pyramid Head was introduced?
I honestly don't know because I never kept up to date with those type of things in those days.
I have to say words that would probably not. YouTube done like you hide. You remember you go in and you're in the room and you hide in the cupboard because the door goes and he comes in and there's one of those like doll things on the kitchen counter and he just starts going to town on it in a in a sexual manner.
I like how she says going to town on it.
in a sexual manner, and then like he comes towards the cabinet and you shoot at him and then he walks away.
It does what towards the camera?
Walks towards the cupboard.
Right, okay.
He walks towards you in the cupboard
and shoots at it.
And then James is like, and he starts shooting at it. It's a whole thing. And that's like the first time. That's his introduction. Well,
that's his introduction.
It's about the story. It's about the themes.
Sure.
James has got some stuff going on up in that old noggin. Everybody who goes to Silent Hill does. That's how it works. That's gonna do it for episode 420 something of the Words About Games podcast. Moody, you know what do you think?
End of the world. Save yourselves. Bye.
Damn. And he was complaining we were bad at this.
Hey, what up, everybody? Today, be proud of yourself. You may want to. Yeah, let me try this again. There. I've even got it there. The words are right there, and I'm not even reading it properly. Hey, what up, everybody? Today, be proud of yourself. Why, you may ask? Because we are all proud of you. You know what you did today? You made it. Another day is behind you. Another week has passed. Want to know what else you are? You are special and you deserve the absolute best. You are truly good enough because you're doing great. We all believe in you. One step at a time, one day at a time, and one dream at a time. Now stand up and jump as high as you can and high five that sky. You are enough, and live long and prosper.